Morning. Today we're going to review the external referral process for the colposcopy clinic. Today I will be working through as a clerk and as the physician. The process begins by working in the work queue monitor. The work queue monitor is the electronic box system where your external referrals will be received. These are those paper referrals that patients or that providers will send in if they do not have access to the electronic order within CST Cerner. As you can see, there's a colposcopy referral form listed in the Work Queue tab. Please note that the colposcopy tab is not currently built, so we are using a BGH. In order to take this from the electronic VAC system and place it into the patient's chart, we will be working with a process of creating a referral encounter, setting it for ready for triage so the provider can review, and then indexing it to the patient's chart. We will also be creating a request that we will place on the triage list that will allow the clerk to review and know which patients are being managed through the triage process. Please note, for the video, we'll be using one screen. However, all clerks will have access to two screens, so they will have the applications sitting side by side. To begin the process, I'm going to take this colposcopy clinic form and associate it to the patient information that would be written here. In order to do that, I just double click on the line and it's going to open the item in the Add Modify Work view. To begin, you'll notice there's no patient information across the banner bar. In order to start, I select patient and then ideally search by PHN. For our demo, I will need to search though by patient name. So what I will do is find the patient with all of the matching information and then create a referral encounter for your location. The external EMPI window will pop up. Sorry, it popped on another window. And note this window only pops open in our test environment. It does not pop again in production. The referral management window will open, and here I can enter the details of the referral itself. The patient information is brought in based on that EMPI search we just did, and the encounter information will be set by myself. It is a referral encounter under the medical service of gynecology. Note, this will be filtered once you go live. The reason for visit is on the document behind the screen. Again, noting we would have two screens and would be able to see these side by side. The referring provider would also be on that paper, and I will enter that here. There's no other data that I need to enter at this time other than the referral information. When was that referral received? And I can see that date and time up here on the left-hand corner. I can use the calendar, the arrows, or I can use a short key by hitting T. In the referral status window, I need to set it for ready for triage in order to place it on the physician's referral management work list. This status is very important, noting this is how the physician can see which patients to triage. Once I say complete, it's going to finish creating the encounter by offering me an opportunity to print any documents I might need at this time. However, if I don't need any, I would just select OK. And it's going to indicate the encounter number that it has created for me, 83557. The patient's information is now placed across the top. It is not yet in the patient chart until we index it. But before we index into the patient's chart, I'm going to place this patient on our triage request list so I can manage all of my appointment requests in one location within the scheduling appointment book. This is the scheduling appointment book for the clerk. This is where I would book, and there is a request list as well. To manage my request list, you can see I would have all of the information already defaulted. As the clerk, I have access to a triage list. I also have access to my future requests, which are any internal referral orders that are coming in. And I also have access to a wait list. So once the patients are accepted and I need to place them on a wait list because they do not need to be booked for some time, I can place them on this wait list for my location. However, at this moment, we're going to start the request process in order to get our patient on one of these lists. In order to do that, I will work in the appointment book for my location, search for my patient here. I also have the referral encounter I just created, and I select OK. It's going to run a quick search, bring my patient in, and allow me to pick what type of appointment they were coming in for. From here, I can select the additional fields that are required to be entered. When the referral was received, what the priority of the patient is based off of the current request. If the information is known regarding an interpreter, you can place that here. And it will default to in-person. When I select Move, the appointment guidelines window will pop up. This is the field that was requested to be billed by your clinic to discuss any appointment guidelines. Once moving through that window, the appointment attributes window will open. From here, we're going to finish transcribing the colposcopy order that is linked to the appointment, noting that much of the information is currently defaulted in based off of the items we have already entered. From here, we will just select the outstandings. This list will be filtered once the final determination for clinical indications is complete. However, purposes of today, I'm going to select colposcopy. Once I say OK, it moves the patient to the work in progress. From here, I can determine the next steps, whether to book or to request. At this time, we are requesting. The request book window will pop open. And from here, I can ask which request list I'd like to place the patient on. It defaults to your future request list. However, we'd like to place this on the triage list. So I will just highlight and move that patient over. And now they exist on my triage list. So once I state OK, it takes the patient off of here and it will place them back on the request list. And let me show you the triage list and you will see our patient. Our patient is now placed here. And that is the end of the request process. From here, I just need to go back and finish placing the referral form into the patient's chart. So I will go back to my other screen that I have open and I will finish indexing this document. From here, I need to just tell the chart what type of form this is, whether it's a requisition versus a result of some sort or a request for something else. From here, it is a requisition form, and you will notice there are many predefined subject lines. You can type 11500 if you'd like to avoid having this window open to save yourself a step. I can enter who the referring provider was. I will select the complete action in order to mark this as done and take it off of my work queue monitor. The last step is the performing provider field that I must enter. Since it came in via fax, we used scanned document. Once I say, okay, this is going to drop this line off of the work queue monitor and place it into the patient's electronic chart. As you can see, that line is now gone and it has gone to the patient's chart. From here, the clerk has finished the process of creating a request and a referral encounter for referral triage. The next step will be the provider reviewing their referral management work list. Okay, the next part of the process is for the physician to review the referral work list. In order to review the referral work list online, you would sign into PowerChart. PowerChart will open to your message center as a physician. In order to access the referral management tab, you will click the icon above that says referral management. You can see here, I have already set up and saved a run list that will pull patients based off of my location and status of ready for triage. We can help set those up in advance, and it will be very easy then to just come in and select the refresh button. As you can see, this is the list of patients that the physician will need to review for triage. These are all patients that have a referral encounter with a ready for triage status for the colposcopy clinic. This was the patient that we just created our request for. Our patient's first name is Testing. As you can see, there's a little bit of information that displays space forward on this view. If you'd like, you can rearrange these columns to make it more appropriate for whatever you prefer to view. To access that referral information that came in on the fax, you just click into the patient's chart by highlighting and clicking. From here, I just need to establish why I'm in the patient's chart, and I will be the triaging provider today. From here, the patient's chart opens up. You'll know you're in a patient's chart when the name information and demographics displays across the banner bar. Noting here, I am in the RHS Colposcopy referral encounter. Provider view will open on the menu bar. You have access to all of the tabs on the left-hand side, but a majority of the information is also viewable in the provider view. From here, there are sub-tabs. You can set these up to view any way that you'd like, depending on how you are working. The Referral Triage tab is an available tab for providers to easily complete referral triage. From here, you have access to a number of components. Again, you are able to move these in any order that you feel are appropriate for your method of referral and triaging. To view the scanned document that came in that the clerk indexed to the chart, I can see it here. It is the scanned document requisition form that was updated today at 9:02. To view it, I click on the patient, or pardon me, I click on the document name, and the window will open for me to view the scanned information. Let me zoom out a little bit. From here, you can see the faxed piece of paper that came in that the clerk indexed to the chart. I would review according to your normal processes, close the window, and make a determination for an acceptance or rejecting for the colposcopy. If I'm going to accept, I can go to the new order entry, and I will move that up a little closer to the top here. And I can have some personal favorites already set up if I'd like. And those will be done during your personalization sessions. I will click on the accept referral order. I can also order lab work or any other items that need to be done prior to the patient's visit if I'd like. If I'm all done ordering, it will place whatever I have selected in the tray up in the right-hand corner here. I click on it, And from here, I can modify any of the details of the order. If I have predefined sentences and I'm happy with it, I can click right through. Otherwise, I can enter details that are appropriate to this patient. From here, I'm going to say when I think the patient needs to come in for their colposcopy. I can select next available appointment or use any of the in options, or click special instructions and add any details that I may not be able to use for the predefined options. For today, I'm going to select within a day, and the patient is to come into our clinic. And I can tell the clerk any additional information if I need to. Otherwise, I can hit sign. From here, I'm all set within the patient's chart, and I can move on to the next referral encounter to review and or accept. When I refresh, you'll notice that the system testing patient will come off of my list. The reason for that is the accept order has changed the referral status from ready for triage to accepted. Once all of these patients are either accepted, rejected, or needing more information, it will go back to a list that the clerk is reviewing at appropriate intervals to determine next steps. Referral management would be done at this point, and I can close out as the physician. Back in the clerk position, I would then be able to look for any of the accepted or rejected referrals that the physician has entered. In the application, PM office or access management office, a running list will be viewable of all the referral encounters that are in an accepted, ready for triage, rejected, requesting more information, or hold status. Whatever the status of the referral encounter for your location is, will display in this location. When I'm ready to review any of the referral encounters that the physician may have reviewed already, I would come into Access Management Office and select the patients that are marked accepted and determine the next steps. So for our testing patient, I would review what the provider has entered. And as you can see, there is a bit of information that is available to me. I can view all of the instructions the provider may have entered. I can determine when they wanted that to be done and what they're requesting. From here, since this is a quick within day, I'm going to go ahead and book the appointment and create the pre-encounter for the patient. In order for the patient to come off of the referral work list here, it has to be outside of a referral encounter. So when I right click on the patient's name or the patient line here, I can pre-register this patient since I'm going to be booking them and not waitlisting them. By selecting pre-reg outpatient, we will go through the pre-reg conversations. From here, much of the information is already pre-populated based off of a lot of the information we have already done to this point. On the Encounter Information tab, I will need to select the type of encounter, pre-outpatient. Again, it has retained a bunch of the information that we have already entered to date. I can estimate when the patient is coming in based off of that within option or in option the provider has asked for, and an estimated arrival time. I will just place now. From here, I can say complete, and that is going to complete the pre-register steps. And it has taken the patient off of my access list or my referral work list. On my other screen, I have my scheduling appointment book and my request list still available to me My patient is still sitting on the triage list because I have not yet taken them off to book. Once I know they have been accepted and I've created that pre-registration encounter, I can take my testing patient and book them by right-clicking, completing this request, and walking through the steps of booking an appointment. From here, your guidelines window has popped up. I can review the guidelines, close that out, and review the appointment attributes, updating any if appropriate, selecting OK, and is now placed it up into the work in progress. From here, last time we had requested, but this time we are going to schedule. So I will go ahead and find an appropriate time slot for my patient that works with my patient and the requested time from the provider. I can drop and drag, reviewing that and placing them at 12:30 for 20 minutes. I can increase that time should I need to, but the default time is set. When I say OK, it is going to run a quick background check to make sure there are no conflicts between the rooms, the patient, and the provider. If there was a conflict, it would come up and tell you that the patient, the provider, or the room is already in use. Once these are all read, I can confirm my appointment, and my confirm window will open. From here, the information your clinic has requested for patient prep is available to review with the patient, print, or manage in the fashion that you would normally provide patient prep. From here, I will say OK, and it's going to change the status to blue, confirmed. I'd just like to go back and show you, that is the end of the process though, for that patient. I'd like to show you what these different statuses look like though on your day slate as the provider. So within your ambulatory organizer, which is the icon up top here, you will see that I'm looking at the day view for me, this is me, Antonio, and the colposcopy resource group, which shows the room and the provider's view. I can customize this to look at whatever I need to look at. You will see here there are 1, 2, 3 patients on our list for today and a couple of time slots that have no appointments yet. These 2 patients, both Davy and the first cyst test, are confirmed. They have not checked in yet. They are here both as new colposcopy patients waiting for colposcopies. The time slots are available on the left-hand side and to who they've been booked under. Our last patient down here is booked at 1:45, and you'll notice that they are checked in, and they've been checked in for 1 hour and 14 minutes. There is a note that was placed on the slate here, and as you can see, it was marked as patient arrived early and is in the waiting room. I can write additional notes back and forth as I need to. This is just quick communication between either the clerk and the provider, or provider to provider, whoever is viewing the ambulatory organizer for your location. When I'm ready to go in the patient's chart, I can just click on it and it will open up, and it will, this relationship window will default for you if you are marked as the attending provider for this patient. But since I am in as Antonio and I am not indicated anywhere on the patient's encounter, I just need to determine why I'm coming into the patient's chart. And again, you are back in the patient's chart. As you can see, the information across the top and the menu options on the left-hand side. From here, you can work and do your day. You can go back to the ambulatory organizer by clicking on the button above, or you can continue to do referral management or review any other patient communications that may have come in through your message center, all within the tabs across the top. And that is the view of the ambulatory organizer and how to access a patient's chart from the ambulatory organizer. That will conclude the demonstration today for the external referral triage process and viewing the patient chart via the ambulatory organizer. Please note that I walked through a lot of these steps a little bit slow on purpose in order to show you the different views and what information flows between the different screens. If you'd like a demo where you move through it at a higher pace, I'm happy to go through this again at another point. Please feel free to reach out with any questions that you might have. Thank you, and have a great day.